Place in Saudi Arabia called Rabada. This is a place that was the last home of one of the great companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Dhar al-Ghifari radiyallahu anhu, who has a very long and impressive story in his dedication and devotion and sacrifices to Islam. In the later years of his life, he had moved out of Medina, the city of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he started living in Rabada upon the advice and recommendation of Sayyidina Uthman bin Affan radiyallahu anhu. So, at one occasion, one of the tabi'een, Ma'ruf rahmatullahi alayhi, visited Sayyidina Abu Dhar al-Ghifari radiyallahu anhu at his home. So when he was there at the home of Abu Dhar al-Ghifari radiyallahu anhu, and this was the only home in that entire vicinity, there was no other place. It was not a village, it was not a town, it was just a deserted place. And still it is like that. Nobody lives there. You will only find the graves of Abu Dhar radiyallahu anhu and his beloved wife radiyallahu anha. So Ma'ruf rahmatullahi alayhi observed that the slave or the servant of Abu Dhar radiyallahu anhu was wearing the exact same garment that Abu Dhar radiyallahu anhu was wearing. So he asked for the reason, because it was not a normal thing for the master or the owner to have the same dress as the slave or the servant. So he asked, what is the story, what is the reason why you and your servant are wearing the same dress, exact same dress? So Abu Dhar radiyallahu anhu, he said, well, once I had an altercation with one of the people during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So during that altercation, I ended up saying bad things to that person about his mother. فَعَيَّرْتُهُ بِأُمِّهِ. So perhaps he said something that you are the son of that mother, or black mother, or your mother comes from this and that, something like that. That was not good. So that companion became very hurt emotionally. So he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he made a complaint against Abu Dhar radiyallahu anhu to the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet ﷺ called Abu Dhar and he asked him, did you say something like that to such and such person, to so and so? He admitted, he said, yes, Ya Rasulullah, we had an altercation and I became very angry. And during that moment of anger, I did say bad things to that person, and I did abuse him about his mother as well, verbally. So the Prophet ﷺ, after hearing his admission, he said, Ya Aba Dhar, innaka imru'un fika jahiliyyah. Innaka imru'un fika jahiliyyah. O Abu Dhar, you are a person who still has some elements of ignorance in you. So in another narration, Abu Dhar radiyallahu anhu became very sad upon hearing this from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that, oh Abu Dhar, you still have elements of ignorance in you. You still have jahiliyyah in you. And that was a big thing to hear about him. And he's someone who's been with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the very beginning. He's one of the earliest companions of the Prophet ﷺ. He left his tribe, he left everything. So Abu Dhar radiyallahu anhu, he said, Ya Rasulullah, even at this age, you think I have jahiliyyah in me? The Prophet ﷺ said, yes, you do. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, إِخْوَانُكُمْ خَوَالُكُمْ جَعَلَهُمُ اللَّهُ تَحْتَ أَيْدِيكُمْ. Your servants, your slaves are your brothers. They are still your brothers. The only difference is that Allah has given you a level of control over them, a level of power over them. but you are still obligated to treat them like your brothers. So feed them from what you eat and dress them from what you wear. Give them the clothes that you wear and give them the food from the same food that you eat. After hearing that, this is the spirit of devotion and commission of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, after hearing that, I have always done the same thing. Whatever I eat, I give the same to my servant. Whatever I wear, I give the same to my servant. And it's sad to say that and admit that 1400 years later, we have ignorance among us even today. We have ignorance in us, the same kind of ignorance. We also treat each other differently based on their financial status, or based on the color, based on the language that they speak, based on the race that they come from, or lineage that they have. These are all things that are condemned by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We should not have any element of jahiliyyah in them. But it is sad to know, and it is sad to say that we have so much jahiliyyah in us even today. 1400 years later, when we say a lot of time has passed, yes, a lot of time has passed since Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left from this world, but you could have jahiliyyah in you even when you are 60 years old, 70 years old. Jahiliyyah will not go away by age, but jahiliyyah will go away by your practice of Islam. Abu Dharr radiallahu anhu was shocked to hear that he has jahiliyyah in him. But what did he do after hearing from the Prophet ﷺ that he has jahiliyyah? He started to work on it, and he started to get rid of it, and he did get rid of it. And this is what we need to do as Muslims, as ummah. How sad it is for the state of our ummah that we are divided by color, we are divided by financial status, we're divided by race, we're divided by lineage, we're divided by all these things. Yet what Islam calls us for unity, and unity in the name of Allah, and in the name of Quran, in the name of Islam, in the name of the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.